Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to be talking about Kusama. So I've had a number of people asking me to review Kusama, and I haven't gotten around to it till now, but it's not because I don't love it. It's just the timing on it wasn't as good as I would like to see it be, and you'll see why when we later look at the price. So wouldn't you agree that in most things, timing is everything? So you ask a girl out 2 seconds after she got engaged, it's going to probably go poorly for you, most likely. So timing is everything, and so timing on cryptocurrencies is everything. And timing on this market is everything. Now, if you follow the channel for a while, you know that I'm a big believer that this year is likely going to repeat the patterns of the last 2 4-year cycles, and that this year will be very, very strong for us, followed by next year not being so strong for us. Now, when I say next year, that's also a very broad statement. Might be strong for us for January, February, and if we're really lucky, March, April, May, but not likely going that long, but we could see it happen. And then trailing later into the year, it will go very, very poorly for most of the cryptocurrency market, as it tends to follow what Bitcoin does, and Bitcoin tends to go parabolic the year after it does what's called a halving, and it halved last year. And so this year is likely to go parabolic like it did in 2017. And as you can see, 2021 is 4 years later. The last halving prior to last year was 2016. And prior to that, the prior halving was 2012, which meant in 2013, Bitcoin went parabolic. So what generally happens is Bitcoin goes parabolic and altcoins tend to follow along with that, lagging behind it, and also go parabolic as well. So we have seen some massive gains since really starting in July of last year, going through, 2 or 3 months it had some massive gains, and then we had a lot of sideways trading as well as some pullbacks. And then we saw some massive gains starting January 1st and then some pullbacks. And now we are here after 2 months of massive gains and some pullbacks, trying to determine if the pullbacks will be even stronger. And you know what? I don't really have the answer to that question. Why don't we get into where you can see my screen? There we go. And we're going to look at Kusama here. Now, see what I mean? Some parabolic movement from Kusama. Now, my channel is only 6 weeks old, so thank you all of you who have joined me. You're helping make me the fastest growing channel in all of cryptocurrency, so thank you. I went from, 200 subscribers 6 weeks ago, and in the last 4 weeks have gained like 4,300. So I appreciate every single one of you who have joined me on this journey. I did get frustrated being an investor myself, because if you follow my channel, you know I like to know the deeper information on projects that's happening below the surface. Not the private stuff that they can't discuss, although I'd love to know that too. If they don't share it with me, I don't blame them for not sharing private deals with me. But I was finding, just an investor myself, that they weren't responding to me very quickly. However, they were getting back to other cryptocurrency channels that had 50,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, whatever the number was, and they would get right back to them. So I thought, well, if I want to get better answers to make better investments and be able to give, other people those details too, I need to be able to create a cryptocurrency channel that can be interesting enough for you to join me on this journey, that then together we can maybe have them come on and we're going to ask them some tough questions, some deeper questions, because we want to know all the stuff that's going on below the surface that they can talk about that often hasn't hit public awareness, so that we can make good choices to buy or not to buy or even to sell before the stuff that hasn't hit public consciousness hits it. So Kusama hit public consciousness really solid around August of last year. See, a lot of things took off in July, but they didn't even take off yet. And all of a sudden they went from about $10 up to $46. And then they had some retracement after, at the time, this was some parabolic movement going here. Yikes. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back to max. There we go. All right, and then they then traded sideways, and then they went parabolic again. See, Kusama, timing is everything. Now, I don't know exactly what that would look like, but see here, where it went parabolic, then it had some retracement, it had some sideways movement. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that over the next 3 months on a lot of projects, including Kusama. Now, it's hard to tell exactly where Kusama will go in the coming months because there's some really good things happening for the Polka Dot ecosystem. A lot of the stuff that's been anticipated will start coming together piece by piece, and so maybe that will continue to drive it up, or maybe it will repeat this exact pattern where it then begins to trade sideways. And the last thing I hate to do is buy high just to watch it do nothing for 3 or 4 months. And so I'm always looking at what is a good entry on projects that I'm interested in and looking for a good entry. And if I don't find it, I don't force it either unless it's one I absolutely love and I think it's extremely underpriced still. So is Kusama underpriced? Yes, in the long term, absolutely. But right now, everything is underpriced. And so it's just had a massive parabolic run. Was it underpriced at $100? Yes. Is it underpriced at $239 for the next 6-month window? That I'm not so sure about. So I'm definitely not going to chase money onto this when I love the project. I love what they're doing, and it's going to be one that's going to be around 10, 20, 40 years from now, if I had to guess. Now, none of this is financial advice, and I know you know that. I just want to always be clear about that. I'm not even a financial advisor, and I'm just a cryptocurrency investor myself, only for 4 years. I've been real estate investing for 20, but I'm only 4 years into cryptocurrency investment. So, and it's been around for 12, so I've only been there for a third of it. All right, so where is this all going from here? Well, we'll look at that. Let's talk a little bit more about what it is. Now, it's the kid brother to Polka Dot. So if you look at where the market cap is, well, let's break this down a little bit. $236. And if we times this by the circulating supply, we get the market cap here. Now, one of the other things I look at, so we're at $2.1 billion in market cap, which is fine for what they're doing. A little bit overpriced for the moment, but a lot of things are overpriced probably for the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of sideways trading for a while. Am I selling things? No. Am I buying a lot more at these prices? Only on very specific projects, but still what I've done before. If I had a bunch of Kusama, would I sell it now, expecting a retracement, trying to buy more? I don't often play that game. Every once in a while I play that game, but boy, playing that game, unless you're really, really good, what ends up happening is it skyrockets, goes parabolic while you're asleep one night. You wake up and you just have to now pay double to get back the same amount that you had before. So if it's one that I like, I don't play that game. I do look for great entries. And so what I'm not seeing for myself is a great entry on this. So circulating supply, almost the full amount is in circulation. I love that about it. So let's compare this to its older brother, Polka Dot. And Polka Dot is, what's that, 15 times the market cap of Kusama. Makes sense. Now, let's talk a little bit about what Kusama is. So if you come to their website, kusama.network, you'll see the origin of Kusama. The relationship between society and technology has deteriorated to the point where large entities routinely stretch and overstep their authority. Kusama is a network built as a risk-taking, fast-moving canary in the coal mine for its cousin, Polka Dot. I'd say they're brothers, but they say they're cousins. I say brothers. It's a living platform built for change agents to take back control, spark innovation, and disrupt the status quo. That is fantastic. So in other words, if I were to summarize that, it's the Wild West of the Polka Dot ecosystem and the Wild West of the Wild West, because isn't blockchain like the Wild West where all this innovation and development and new ideas are coming together and being developed that'll change the world again? I mean, the last major change we had was in the late 90s with the internet boom and how it changed the world. And then this boom is changing finance as well as other things in the world, because out of blockchain and cryptographic encryption has come some amazing innovative steps that are changing the ways I reviewed Theta yesterday. It's changing the way streaming will happen in the future. It's changing the way a lot of things will happen. And it's like the Wild West of innovation. It's really actually exciting A lot of people think it's about Bitcoin and is it digital gold or isn't, and that's just the start of it. That was just the entry gateway. Where it's gone beyond that is passing so many people by, but if you're here, you're in the right place at the right time. All right, let's look a little bit at price action. This is trading on Kusama. Now, I was looking at it earlier, and so you see I drew some things out. You see here this really nice rounded bottom. And that's what told you, man, it's going to go on an absolute run. And this is versus USD. So what often happens, rounded bottom, it still comes back and traces, and then it goes up, right? And it has gone absolutely parabolic. Now, what I would be looking for a good entry is some sideways trading for a while longer than this. I don't really know how this is exactly going to break out. In fact, to look at it better, I would go on a lower time frame. And so we could see it break up from here. We could see it break down from here. But I would only be interested in picking up for a medium-term hold if it really broke down from here. Then I felt like, because I like to buy it underpriced versus the value. And it could be, like, say Bitcoin and other things have taken a huge run, and maybe, like, there's some FUD that comes out and everyone gets scared for a month or two. That would give some breathing room to the whole market, and it would bring the values down, and what you would see is actually the brand new beginners panic selling, because they haven't gone through this before. They haven't developed, like, the thick skin it takes, or as the kids call it, the diamond hands, to just then don't panic sell when things are going down. When it goes way down, those are good buying opportunities, especially where we are in the cycle. Now, if it were February and things were going down, I personally wouldn't call that buying opportunities, at least for my own investment decisions. But where we are timed in 2021, most likely we're going to repeat the cycles that we've been through before, and that through the end of this year, most of the altcoins and Bitcoin are going to be really strong, and maybe even a little bit into next year. But we don't know that part. Just most likely through the end of this year, it's going to be really strong. However, even in the last bull markets, if you look back at them, you'll see that there was big parabolic moves and then a lot of retracement and sideways action. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some retracement and sideways action just going. Boy, I keep hitting the wrong tools. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this kind of stuff. And that doesn't mean Kusama isn't under or overvalue. It's just overvalue versus the timing. I think it's going to do a lot better this year. Really good this year. Now, one of the fun things about Kusama that's amazing, and you probably heard this if you followed it closely, but if you haven't, so you literally can get paid to get a tattoo. Now, the KSM, I'm trying to remember what that stands for. They go through it on this article, but if you Google getting paid to have a KSM tattoo on you, literally they get some residual income from the Kusama blockchain, and they use that to pay people who have this tattoo. It's quite cool. I'm not getting one, but I wouldn't blame you for doing it. You do have to apply to the fraternity, and if you get accepted, then you get paid to have that tattoo, which is incredible. So just a fun thing I thought I'd bring up. Let's go back to this screen and let's talk about where this could go. So oftentimes when I make my price predictions, they're actually not what I think the price will go to. I'm being a little bit conservative on them, and yet some people think I'm being absolutely crazy on them. For example, I think strongly that for my own investment, this isn't financial advice for you, I think Cardano will break over $21, and people have said I'm absolutely crazy. Well, maybe I am crazy. I seem sane to myself, but doesn't everybody else who's crazy think that they're saying to themselves? So maybe I am crazy, but the reason I think is that I remember what happened in 2017 and valuations got completely out of control. And I watched XRP or Ripple hit over 100 billion in valuations last cycle. And Ripple, their tokenomics for their token aren't even great. They do have some amazing technology. They have an amazing team. And I think that they'll hit all their goals for their company, which aren't necessarily goals for their token. See, they're not really focused too much on their token anymore. Their focus was that for a little bit, but a lot of it is growing their company and getting people to use it. And when I saw that their software doesn't require them to use the XRP token, I was like, well, that hurts. XRP's tokenomics just hugely decreased, and so their price was overvalued at that time for that time in the market. Now, XRP has struggled lately, and a lot of that has to do with just some regulatory issues, which I think they'll get straightened out. And that doesn't mean it has value. It's just not as much value as I'd love to see. As if their software required the use of the XRP token, then I think the tokenomics would be more in line with a really, really big run later this year. As it stands, I do hold some XRP, and I will sell it before I think the end of the market. The only reason I haven't sold it yet is because I'm freaking stubborn. Should have sold it by now. But I do like the project. However, I learned some good lessons from that. Number one was XRP worth over 100 billion. No, it was not. Yet did it hit it in market cap? It did. And so I think many projects that will be coming out with really good stuff will hit some valuations that are a little bit crazy. Now, when I said $21 for Cardano, really that takes it to a market cap of about $750 billion, and I think it'll actually hit a market cap of about $1 trillion. I think Polka Dot will hit a market cap of about $1 trillion too, and Kusama will hit a market cap of about 100 billion is my best guess. So where is that from now? That is almost 50x from now. Not bad. Now, do I think it'll stay there for long? No, I think it'll hit it and run back, because right at the end of it going parabolic, it will hit there. And right as the brand new people FOMOing into the market, throwing as much money as they can at these things, only to see their positions get wrecked because they were chasing large green candles, which never ends well. And so I don't chase these kind of parabolic moves. I usually wait for them to trace sideways. Now, there are rare times I chase these parabolic moves when it hasn't gotten completely crazy, and number two, I think it's still vastly undervalued for the time frame I'm looking in. It's really rare that happens. That happened just recently on just a couple things during this early spring. So one of them I've talked about a number of times on this. It's Origin Protocol, but it's starting to get a point that I'm only going to be entering more if I see some big pullbacks. And so Kusama, would I be interested? Absolutely. If I see it trading sideways for a while, building up some steam, I'm going to make an entry. However, because of the good stuff coming out about Polka Dot in the coming 3 months, it may never retrace to that. That doesn't mean, it just means I didn't see the charts telling me a good entry, so I was just unsure of my entry, and I had to pass up the opportunity. And it's okay to pass it up. There are a lot of great tokens out there, and if you miss the timing on something, it's okay. You missed the boat. You don't have enough money to force the boat to come back to you, which is what the billionaires do. So you just miss the boat and look for something where there is good timing on it. Make sense? Well, I wanted to thank you all for joining me on this journey. Now, this channel has grown tremendously thanks to you. I did start this channel just 6 weeks ago, so it is fairly new. So all of you who have joined, I really appreciate it. It is the fastest growing channel in cryptocurrency, and it's all thanks to you guys. So I appreciate it so much. As of 4 weeks ago, I only had 200 subscribers, and in the last 4 weeks I have grown by 4,300 subscribers or so. And so thank you. My goal is to get tons of subscribers so that we can reach out to all those projects and we can get the best information. Isn't that what we all want? And I want to have great guests on, come on the show and tell us what's going on and stream it so that you can ask your questions, and we are heading that direction. So thanks for hitting the subscribe button and joining this boat, because the bigger boat we get together, well, then we can get the really good information and we can have the best guests on, which is my goal. Because I'm going to be fine without having a channel. I've been putting every penny I could for the past 4 years into cryptocurrency, waiting for this year. And this is the year. So to say your timing is good is an understatement. And I'm so glad you're here now versus joining in September or October or November or December. You're at the right place at the right time. So thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, Sometimes I respond in the chat, but look for my name to be circled with a big black circle. There's scammers that come on that somehow copy my picture and they have the same name, and that's not me unless it's completely filled in, black circle. You'll see the difference. I do want to hear from you if you see some great projects out there. And, you know, I can't keep my eyes on everything, so I appreciate everyone who's given me some great things to look at. But in order for me to review what you're looking at and put my own eyes on it, I need three things from you. I need the ticker symbol. I need what you like about it and as good a description as you could give me. So if the description's this long, then great, I'm very happy. The more you put in there that you like about it, the happier I am, because I want to see how you analyze it and look at it. And then third, I want to know what the current market cap is at. If you give me those three things, I do promise that I will at least put my eyes on the project. And if I really like it, I'll do a video on it. Thanks so much, guys. We will see you later. Bye.